everybody, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha. So if you've been enjoying all the content that I've been putting out, I recommend subscribing to the channel. So today I want to talk some putting. So when you're putting, do you ever hit top right of the basket and then you splash out? You know, disc comes out, you know, hits that top left, splashes out. And a lot of times when you make that putt, you'll notice that your arm is actually on an angle and pointing right at top left of the basket. So the problem is that you're not getting your arm straight on the putt. You know, when you putt, the arm needs to be straight so you get a straight putt. If your arm is bent, you know, it's going to push the putt off to the left. So how do you get your arm straight to putt straight? So however you want to do this, you know, works. So you can either putt with your elbow down, see if down, and then as you come back, just kind of bring it into your side right here and keep it facing down. That's the key to straightening your arm, is your elbow pointing down. So you can either come in closer to your body here, see how my elbow is right off my side and the arm is bent right here? Because now when you come down, see I'm right here, the arm is right into my side, and when I come up, the elbow's pointing down, and you can see my arm is perfectly straight. So that's one way of getting it straight. Elbow facing down on the take back here, and when you come forward, the arm stays pointing down all the way back up. That'll straighten out your arm to make a straight putt. Or if you come down and your elbow's sticking out over here. So if you like to come down and you leave your elbow outside, so you can see my elbow is actually pointing this way. So this is the cause of that push to the left. Elbow's pointing to the left. You can see outside the body line. So when I come down and I come up to putt here, you can see my arm is still bent. It didn't straighten. Because by the time your arm comes here, the disc is releasing and you still haven't got your arm straight. And that's because your elbow is still pointing over here. So you can see if I come down, elbow's pointing over here. As I come up, you can see my arm is still turned on the angle here, and I'm releasing my putt, hits top left. So how do you straighten this out? On the release of the putt, your elbow has to rotate under this way. You see how my arm just straightened? See the disc is over here? Just by bringing my elbow under, look, I'm pointing right at the camera now. See the difference? Elbow on the outside of the camera, my disc moved over here. Bring my elbow back under, I'm now right in line with the camera. So if you're going to putt and have your arm on the outside, elbow pointing here on your take back. So you're here, so you can see my elbow is pointing this way. As I come up, you got to rotate your elbow under. See how my elbow's coming under, coming up? Now it's rotating under, right here. Then the release of the disc. And that will flatten it out. The whole key to putting straight is getting this arm straight at the basket. So when you're coming out straight, it's just easier if your elbow's under here. Because if it's out here, it's just harder to straighten your arm, because if I come up this way, elbow on the side, straight isn't here. It's going to be off a little bit right there. See how that, my elbow's over here, so that means my arm is going to keep going to the side until it straightens over here. So you're actually, if you do straighten your arm with it pointing out this way on the elbow, you're actually going to pull the disc to the right. Because to fully straighten your arm, it now pushes it to the right if your elbow is pointing to the right. So you got to get your elbow under the bottom, facing down on the release, and that's going to give you a nice straight putt. So it doesn't matter how you want to do it, arm facing out over here, just when you're coming up, the elbow rotates under, or start with it facing down, and as you come down, the elbow stays under here, stays down. Then as you come up, it's already under. And a good way to see if you did it correctly is right after you putt, bend your arm. It should come right back up to your face right here after you putt. If you're here and your arm's on an angle, it's going to be coming sideways, But anyway, so to get that putt straightened out so you don't hit top left, got to get the elbow pointing down. And that's going to straighten your arm to make the putt. So anyways, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha.